Well, let's take a dive into our commodities market this afternoon. And we start, as always, with gold, silver, copper, and platinum. First is gold, which is selling for $3,542.60 for an ounce of gold. And it is positive 0.75%. For silver, it sells for $41.56, and it is down, up 2.06%, I beg your pardon, plus 0.84%. Copper is $460.15, positive 1.10, while it's up 0.24%. For platinum is $1,398.69 and 18.79 positive change. This is indeed significant, positive 1.37%. For other commodities like corn, wheat, cocoa, and cotton, corn is $420.25 per metric ton. Wheat is $534.25 per metric ton. Now let's see the change here now. Positive 10.25 wheat, positive 5.25, and both corn 2.50%, while wheat is positive 0.99%. For cocoa, it is down again to $7,710. That's per metric ton of that commodity, negative 1.03 and down 1.32%. For cotton, it is $66.54, and it is 0.76% in negative, down 1.13%. To global markets today, we have many markets playing on this chart, but Asian shares were down as profit-taking hit some high-flying Japanese tech groups, though China remained well supported by optimism over its homegrown AI ventures. A holiday in the United States made for thin trading, with Wall Street and European share features managing minor gains. The prospects of a lowering borrowing cost has underpinned Wall Street near record highs, and September has been the worst performing month of the year for S&P 500 over the past 35 years. But S&P 500 features and Nasdaq features both dipped 0.1%. Eurostock 50 features firmed 0.1%. FTSE features were flat, and DAX features gained 0.1%. Japan's Nikkei fell 1.6%, led by a 9% slide in chip group Adventist, which finally ran into selling after climbing 49% in the past 3 months. The South Korea market slipped 0.7%. Indonesian market lost 1.5% after protests shook the government and forced the central bank to defend the rupiah. But MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside of Japan added another 0.4% after hitting a 4-year high last week on the back of a bull run on Chinese stocks. But Chinese blue chips also gained 0.4%, having surged 10%. Over August, an abundant liquidity sought capital returns in an otherwise low yields environment. Now to Hong Kong, the Hang Seng shares coming down to that market now. You see that shares of Alibaba jumped 19% in the biggest Japan, and Nikkei slipped 0.33%. Crude oil prices traded in tight range today as worries about rising output and the impact of U.S. tariffs on demand offset supply disruptions stemming from Russia and Ukraine airstrikes. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose to $64.37, positive 0.56%. Brent crude futures sells for $67.81, positive 0.49%. For Bonny Light, it sells for $78.62, down 2.84%. And for the OPEC basket, dealers now offer $69.65 with a downward price margin of 0.11%.